Oh, crap. Leaking diesel, that cannot be good. What is up, everyone? Long time no see. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Hey, it's Lincoln Johns. Just got back from the 2-week guard training. Good training. Basically just went out and camped out in the field there for about 2 weeks or so. Did some field maintenance stuff. A lot of sorry, Harley night train caught my attention. My bad. What were we talking about? Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah, back on the channel. Jumping back into it. 2 weeks off. A little bit tired. Trying to get, caught up on work. Caught up at work. Still have some other stuff going on in the background as well. Trying to buy a house and planning a wedding and all sorts of stuff. So, we're going to be bringing you something pretty easy today as far as working on the 4th gen right here. We are just going to be doing a quick fuel filter change. As you may have noticed, springtime is beginning to roll in. Thank God. About time. Really tired of the snow and all that cold weather crap that we have going on here in Nebraska right now. So we are just going to go ahead and we're going to leave the door up for this evening and go ahead and try and get some work done to this. So yeah, it's going to be a pretty easy job. So let's get to it. We're going to give you guys a little bit of a rundown on where things are at and what to expect when you are changing your fuel filter on the Cummins. So, I'm going to pick you guys up. Just kidding. Don't worry, guys. I won't drop you. So, starting off, crawl up the top like creeper. Gonna look into the engine bay here. And, oh, hey, look at that. The lighting actually isn't that bad for once. Probably because the door is open. And what you're wanting to find here is the fuel filter housing. If you don't know what that is, it's dead in the middle of the camera. This guy right here, canister looking deal with a black plastic cap. There's also this hex head style protrusion on the cap as well. But the first thing that we are going to want to do is we're going to break this open. We're going to take the cap out. Scratch that. We're not taking the cap off. First thing we're going to do is, you see that little yellow, zoom. This little yellow tab right there. That knob, we're going to rotate it, I believe counterclockwise. And that is going to drain the fuel out of the canister. And the best way to keep that from making such a huge mess, they put a little tube on the end of it. I'll show you where the tube is located. Okay, so you're looking directly at the front diff. Okay, right above the, I'm gonna say, center bolt of the diff pan. It's that clear plastic tube hanging down right there. Kind of dumb that they would drain it right on top of the diff, because that just makes an even bigger mess. Also, it'd be a good time to mention right now, after the fact that I've already loosened it, the socket you want to use for the plastic cap to take it loose on the fuel filter housing itself is a 1 1/8 socket. So good for future reference. Our fuel filter out. Boy, that looks delicious. Okay. Alright, got you back again. Alright, and so I'm going to go ahead and give you a rundown of everything pulled apart. So this is the old fuel filter, okay? Real quick tip on this one. This is more of a stock OEM style fuel filter. As you can see, there is that little rectangular tab in the center there. The reason that is there is so you can use a pair of pliers or whatever, because trying to pull that out with your fingers is pretty difficult. So use a pair of pliers on that little tab, should pop right up. And looking down in the fuel filter housing, the big thing you want to look out for in diesel pickups, especially if you're new to the diesel pickup world, you don't want a lot of metal particles inside of your fuel filter housing or in your fuel filter necessarily. An excess of that means there is something going wrong with your CP3 or your high pressure injection pump. But this is looking good, and the other thing you want to look out for is algae and bacteria. This is actually looking really clean for just pulling it right up and out. So only not even 80,000 miles on this pickup. It's only 6 years old. I'd hope there is nothing going on with the fuel system right now, but it is always a safe bet to change the fuel filter on pickup that you know just kind of picked up. So also take note that center section right here, that little can I get my camera in there? If you can see that center stem that's sticking up, it is oval shaped, and that's so your new fuel filter will go on a certain way. So it's pretty dummy proof. You don't have to worry too much. Just don't try and ram it on down there not aligned. It's pretty hard to do that. If you do, well, you probably shouldn't be working on a vehicle, period. But the other nice thing, which I'm gonna give a shout out here to AFV. I mean, I'm not a huge buyer of their stuff. I did buy a air intake kit for my second gym back when I had it, but it was an awesome kit. But this new this style fuel filter makes it easier for you to grab it and get it out of that fuel filter housing rather than having to use a set of pliers on that one. So new fuel filter, old fuel filter. New, old. Also, another thing to remember is if you look down on that where it's threaded, there is also a new O-ring. You can't really see it because it's covered in crap, but this kit, there's another O-ring, so go ahead and replace that as well. Out with the old and with the new. Okay, so now that we have the new fuel filter in there, everything is up out of the road. We cleaned up the bottom a little bit so we can tell if it is leaking or not. It is now time for the main event. Will it start? I don't know. I'm just kidding. It will start. But to start off, the first thing you want to do, don't just hop in, turn the key, and go. You gotta let it prime. It is a self-bleeding system, so you just keep cranking, and it will eventually work all the air out, and it will start. Plain simple like that. But before you do, the very first thing you want to do is you want to turn your key. You want to put your key in, and you want to turn it to the on position so it cycles. Okay, shut it off, turn it on again. Got some AC/DC cranking out. TNT! Oh, okay. Focus. Alright. So, just keep letting it prime. Ooh, I heard it. Sometimes, I'm not sure about the newer stuff. I feel like if you bump the starter, it will just go ahead and try and start. Let's go ahead and try. Nope. So just keep priming. On the older Cummins, you could just bump the starter and it would let the lift pump run, cycle for about 20 seconds, instead of just turn the key and it cycles for about 3 to 5 seconds. But on the older ones, you could bump the starter. It would cycle for 20 seconds, really pump the fuel up there. These new ones, though, they're not meant to do that. That's the only downside. But here's the thing. All you gotta do is just sit there and crank on it. So let's, give her hell. It's so quiet. It's like it never even started. Well, my Fitbit was telling me a message. My wife, fiance, sorry, might as well be my wife. Whatever. It's like 2 months away from the wedding. Okay, texting me. So sorry, sidetracked. But as you can see, it starts, it runs. Runs smooth, by the way. Another thing you want to do, make sure you have no leaks, which I'm not seeing any. Go check down here. That spot was already there. I didn't clean the tie rod very well. I really need... Wow. Okay. And just like that, we're done. Too easy, right? Right before it starts getting dark on us. I love it. Who knew? Simple, right? I'm gonna give you another big shout out to these guys. Oh, focus, you stupid camera. XDP, Extreme Diesel Power. For all... Wow. Focus. I gotta do something with this camera. It's... yeah. Okay. But anyways, it's still figuring stuff out, and I'm like almost a month and a half into YouTube. So, no, want to give a big shout out to Extreme Diesel Performance as my go-to aftermarket need for anything diesel. Another awesome tidbit I want to emphasize on again: 10% military discount. Only on like five companies that don't. You can't get it through that site, but 10%. You know, very patriotic people. Also, the customer service is phenomenal as well. Past experience with XTP has been just outstanding. So big shout out to those guys. Thanks again for everything, and you know, keeping the diesel world alive. That's gonna go ahead and conclude for tonight's video. Be sure to find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Be on the lookout for next week's video. We got some steering content for the fourth chin again as well. Some future questions will be asked. So definitely don't want to miss that. You're gonna find out where the future of this channel is going. So glad to be home. Hopefully everybody else is home safe. And that'll do it for tonight. So, adios.